Hello everyone! In this video I'm gonna show you two famous districts of Istanbul. You will walk with me and see historical places of this amazing city you should visit one day. Hi everyone! I'm at the Bosphorus. This is the famous place here in Istanbul. My next day in Istanbul was great. Sun appeared and gave its light and warmth. I could walk around and enjoy the city. I came to the river bank and saw Bosphorus. Bosphorus is a natural strait connecting the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara, thus being a very strategic waterway. It was a river in the valley during the tertiary period of the continent, which was drowned by the sea at the end of this period. Its length is 32 kilometers in the north to south direction. Width varies between 730 to 3030 meters, and depth is between 30 to 120 meters. Bosphorus Strait separates the European part from the Asian part of Istanbul. The surface current flows always from north to south. However, a strong countercurrent under the surface creates swirls and eddies. Bosphorus comes from a Thracian word, which means passage of the core, deriving from the legend of Io, who was one of many lovers of Zeus. When Hera, Zeus' wife, suspected her husband being involved in a love affair with Io, Zeus converted Io in a small cow and tried to send her away from Hera's rage. She, the cow, swam across the strait, but Hera discovered it and she sent big flies after the cow to bite and disturb her all the time, ending Io in the Aegean Sea, thus named Ionian Sea. Bosphorus in Turkish is known as Bozachi, meaning inner strait. Since the ancient times, it held always an important role because of its strategic location, being the only passage from the Black Sea into the Mediterranean, along with the Dardanelles Strait. Especially during the Cold War, the strait were crucial for Soviet Navy. Bosphorus is a very busy waterway with many ships and oil tankers going through it, as well as local fishing, and ferries go to the Asian side back and forth. Around 48,000 ships pass through this strait annually, 3 times denser than the Suez Canal traffic and 4 times denser than the Panama Canal. Approximately 55 million tons of oil are shipped through the strait each year. Guys, my soul is so happy. This view, amazing. So, this district that you can see right now, named Eminönü. Eminönü is the heart of the walled city of Constantine, the focus of a history of incredible richness. Eminönü covers the point of which the Byzantine capital was built. The Gala Bridge crosses the Golden Horn into Eminönü, and the mouth of the Bosphorus open into the Marmara Sea. And up on the hill stands Topkapi Palace, the Blue Mosque, and Hagia Sophia. Thus Eminönü is the main tourist destination in Istanbul. It was a part of Fatih district until 1928, which constitutes the old Istanbul Peninsula, which was formerly the Constantinople. The Golden Horn was a natural port, particularly the Eminönü shore, which being on a peninsula was also eminently defensible. It was for this port that Istanbul was built, and from that Istanbul grew, with the oldest neighborhoods being the port districts along the Golden Horn. In time, the Byzantine port was also occupied by merchants from Genoa and Pisa, who eventually acquired their own wharves and waterfront districts. The Golden Horn was still a thriving port in Ottoman times, occupied by importers, waterhousemen, sailors and traders of every description. The center of trade in the city a labyrinth of narrow streets, workshops and markets leading until to Topkapi Palace, the Ottoman capital. The district's name, Eminönü, also reflects its place in history. Translated from Turkish to English, it roughly means in front of justice. Emin meaning justice. Onu meaning in front of. The name most probably came from the Ottoman courts and customs houses on the docks. The nature of the place did of course change in the industrial age. The Galata Bridge was built across the Golden Horn. Steamships came, then electricity, then the railway, and the Istanbul terminal of the Orient Express was naturally seated at the Secrecy station. The sea walls still surrounded the city, and the sea gates of the port of Eminönü were the point of entry for goods and for people. Following the huge railway station, other grand stone buildings followed in the late Ottoman period. Commercial buildings, the central post office among others, and in the early days of the Republic of Turkey, Eminönü was renovated extensively. The big square was opened up in front of Yenikami. The Spice Bazaar was restored, the fish market was cleared off, the shore of the Golden Horn, and a road opened up to the new bridge at Unkapanı. By the 1950s, the area was continuously clogged up with traffic, which was eased somewhat by the construction of the large coast road around the point and all the way out to Istanbul airport. On the way to the Galata Bridge, you can see Rüstem Pasha Mosque. Rüstem Pasha Mosque was commissioned by Rüstem Pasha, one of the viziers of Kanuni Sultan Süleyman, to Mimar Sinan in 1561 in Istanbul, Eminönü. Rüstem Pasha Mosque was constructed above a complex of shops near the Spice Bazaar in the Eminönü quarter. Two staircases lead from the busy street up to the terrace and a colonnaded porch that stands in front of the mosque. Its stunning interior is a marvel of a mosaic artistry and welcome respite from the hectic city outside. And then I went to Karaköy district. Karaköy is located right in front of the old town, near the Galata Bridge, and down the famous tower of the same name. It covers an area from the banks of the Golden Horn to the Bosphorus. The first traces of urbanization dates back to the Byzantine Empire. It is therefore one of the most historical and important places of the city. It is still a condensed area of Istanbul with different populations living close to each other. As early as the 13th century, its location gave him the primary role of the port and the commercial center of Constantinople. Populated at that time by the Genoese, the area is built on the model of an Italian city. The port grew rapidly and became one of the largest in Europe. It welcomed throughout its history different communities fleeing wars or other disasters, including the Jewish, Greek or Russian. It was a commercial area, rich and very dynamic. These communities have left an indelible architectural and religious heritage in this area. The presence of numerous churches and synagogues attests to this cosmopolitan past, but also the freedoms guaranteed by the sultans to the different religious groups. After a long period of decline following the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1923, the opening in 2004 of the Museum of Modern Art in the old docks has given life again to the neighborhood by radically transforming it to one of the cultural and artistic center of the city. The Istanbul Modern is a beautiful museum not to miss if you like contemporary art. Street art is a global phenomenon that did not miss Istanbul and particularly Karaköy. It has been several years that Turkish street artists have made a name for themselves and perform their art freely in streets. Some shop owners even pay for it. Some little streets give the impression of being in open-air galleries. Karaköy is also currently one of the best places to be in Istanbul at night. The weekends evenings it is lively and perfect for partying until dawn in clubs like Mit, Goya or Colony. The other part of Karaköy, on the site of the Golden Door at the bottom of the Galata Tower, has developed particularly in the 19th century by becoming the financial center of the Ottoman Empire under the leadership of the great families for the Jewish communities. It quickly became a stronghold of world finance, a kind of an Ottoman Wall Street. So I'm gonna stop at this point. I'll tell you about my adventures in Istanbul in the next series. Thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you later.